Let's start with a simple truth. Life is full of things you cannot control. Traffic jams, comments on social media, the way someone looks at you, a sudden setback, a surprise bill, a job rejection, a partner's bad mood. And yet, most of us live as if every one of those things has the power to define our day. We wake up calm, maybe even optimistic. But then, one text message can ruin our morning. One rude driver can poison our mood. One small failure can make us doubt our entire identity. That's the problem. Not the traffic, not the comments, not the setbacks. The problem is that we live in reaction mode. We let the outside world control our inside world. We hand over our peace, our energy, and our focus to anyone or anything that pushes the right buttons. And the more we do this, the weaker we feel, the more fragile, the more at the mercy of circumstances we become. But what if I told you it doesn't have to be that way? What if the world outside you has no real power over you unless it connects to something inside you? What if your perception, not the event itself, is what determines your experience? And what if, by mastering your perception, you could become untouchable? Not numb, not indifferent, but calm, grounded and powerful, no matter what storms are raging around you? That's the journey we're about to go on together. Here's the central idea we're going to explore. Nothing outside you has power over you unless it attaches to something inside you. The world itself is neutral. Your perception gives it meaning. Emotional reactivity is not destiny. It's a habit that can be rewired through awareness and practice. This means that your entire experience of life can change without changing anything external by shifting how you see, interpret, and respond. That's the secret to becoming untouchable. Why people get shaken. Let's break down why most people feel so easily shaken by life. Imagine you're driving and someone cuts you off. Your blood pressure spikes, your heart races, and maybe you even shout out loud. Now pause for a second. Why did that reaction happen? The event itself, someone cutting you off, wasn't personal. They don't even know you, but your mind gave it meaning. Maybe the meaning was, that person disrespected me. Or, people are always so selfish. Or even, I'm not safe on the road. It's not the car, it's the story. Or think about being ignored by someone you care about. They don't reply to your message. Hours go by, then days. Suddenly, you feel a pit in your stomach. Maybe anger, maybe sadness, maybe shame. Again, what caused the reaction? Not the silence itself, but the story you told yourself about the silence. They don't value me, or I'm not enough, or I always get abandoned. See the pattern? It's never the outside event, it's the inner wound it touches. Traffic isn't the enemy. Silence isn't the enemy. Criticism isn't the enemy. The real trigger lives inside you. It's the insecurity, the old wound, the belief you've been carrying, often since childhood, that gets poked. Carl Jung put it perfectly. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. That's exactly what happens when we live reactively. We think life is against us. We think people are unfair. We think fate is cruel. But in truth, what we're experiencing is our own unexamined shadow. The shadow is Jung's word for all the parts of ourselves we don't want to see, the insecurities we hide, the fears we suppress, the stories we inherited but never questioned. The world outside is like a mirror. It reflects whatever is unresolved inside. That's why two people can experience the same event, but react completely differently. One person gets insulted and laughs it off. Another hears the exact same words and collapses into self-doubt. Same event, different shadow. This is why shadow work matters. Shadow work is simply the practice of noticing what triggers you, asking what it reveals about your inner world, and choosing to integrate instead of avoid. The illusion of control. Now let's talk about control. Most people spend their lives trying to control everything outside themselves, controlling how others see them, controlling outcomes, controlling fairness, controlling the future. But here's the paradox. The more you try to control the outside world, the more power you give it over you. If you need someone's approval, they control your self-worth. If you need an outcome to feel safe, uncertainty controls your peace. If you need fairness, then every unfair event has the power to destroy your mood. The truth? You control only one thing: your perception. That might sound small, but it's not. It's everything. Because perception shapes meaning. Meaning shapes emotions. Emotions shape actions. Actions shape results. Change perception, and you change everything downstream. And here's the paradoxical freedom. When you stop needing outcomes, they often unfold more favorably. When you stop chasing approval, you feel more confident, and ironically, people respect you more. When you stop fighting life and start flowing with it, you align with opportunities you couldn't have planned. Freedom doesn't come from control. It comes from letting go. Neuroscience. How reactivity becomes habit. Let's bring in a bit of brain science. Every time you react emotionally to a trigger, you're strengthening a neural pathway. Your brain learns, when X happens, respond with Y. Over time, this becomes automatic. That's why some people explode at criticism, while others barely blink. They've trained their brains differently, whether they realized it or not. The good news? The brain is plastic, which means it can change. Through mindfulness, cognitive reframing, and deliberate practice, you can weaken old pathways and build new ones. Instead of instantly reacting, you can pause. Instead of spiraling, you can observe. Instead of drowning in the wave, you can surf it. With repetition, that becomes your new default. Calm becomes the habit. Presence becomes the reflex. This is how the untouchable mind is built, not through denial, not through suppression, but through training. The untouchable mind. So, what does it really mean to be untouchable? It doesn't mean you stop feeling. It doesn't mean you're numb, cold, or detached from life. Untouchable doesn't mean nothing touches your heart. It means nothing shakes your foundation. It means you can stand calm in chaos. You can stay grounded when others throw insults. You can face uncertainty without fear. You still feel emotions, but you no longer become your emotions. You observe them. You hold them. You allow them to pass through, but they don't control your choices. Think of it this way. You are not the storm. You are the sky that holds the storm. The storm can rage, lightning can flash, thunder can roar, but the sky remains vast, steady, unbroken. That's the untouchable mind, the awareness beyond the weather of your emotions. The first step is radical awareness. You have to recognize that you don't react to events. You react to your interpretation of events. The pause between what happens and what you feel is filled by meaning. That meaning is often unconscious. So the practice is, when you feel triggered, stop asking, "Who made me feel this way?" Start asking, "What meaning did I give this? What part of me is being exposed?" That's awareness. That's making the unconscious conscious. Step 2. Study your triggers. The second step is to study your triggers like a scientist. When you feel anger, hurt, jealousy, or fear, instead of spiraling, get curious. Ask yourself, what wound is this touching? What belief is underneath this? What need am I chasing? For example, anger at disrespect might reveal a fear of not being valued. Anxiety and uncertainty might reveal an attachment to control. Jealousy might reveal a belief that you're not enough. Every trigger is a map. If you follow it inward, it will always point to the shadow you haven't integrated yet. Step 3. Detachment as mastery. The third step is detachment, not suppression, not denial, not pretending. Detachment means you can observe your emotions without becoming them. You can say, this is anger, this is fear, this is insecurity, and then breathe. When you label an emotion, you create space between you and the feeling. That space is freedom. That space is choice. Instead of being inside the storm, you are watching it move across the sky. Step 4. Real-time practice. The fourth step is real-time practice. Here's the key. You won't become untouchable in theory. You become untouchable in the moments that test you. The next time someone insults you, pause. Feel the surge in your body. Label it. This is hurt. This is anger. Then breathe. The next time you face uncertainty, pause. Notice the tension. Label it. This is fear of not knowing. Then let it be. The more you do this, the weaker the old pathways become. Insults lose their sting. Failures stop defining you. Uncertainty starts to energize you instead of drain you. Consistency is everything. With practice, calm becomes your default.